Nobody in Boston can shut up about the Patriots. For good reason, man. This is fun again. This is great. We're seeing the pieces that could build the next Boston championship team. Pieces like Mike Vrabel at head coach, like Drake Maye at quarterback, like Josh McDaniels as OC, like Milton Williams in the center, Stefon Diggs catching big passes. All of those guys have been at the edge of everyone's lips this year. But the Patriots did not get to 6-2 just because of those guys. There's not just hope for the future because of those couple of guys right there. The Patriots have some unsung heroes that we have not highlighted yet this season, and the time is now to give these guys their due. I'm going to give to you the 4 most underrated Patriots this year. Patriots in no specific order, because in number 4, we start with one that's not even a player, but Zack Core deserves to be one of the most underrated Patriots so far this year. This is a dude who stepped in for your defensive coordinator who you just brought in this year. So Zack Core comes in 2025 thinking, okay, I'm the inside linebackers coach. Last time a guy went from linebackers coach to a bigger role in New England, it didn't work out so well, but I'm learning from Terrell Williams. This will be great. He's never called plays as a defensive coordinator in his life until this year when Terrell Williams has not been able to coach. So Zack Core has stepped in, and this defense is showing signs of getting better. They're only top 15 in the league right now in a lot of categories, and I think they have the potential to be top 10. But here's a guy, Chris Collinsworth, who came in with almost no experience, has been on some bad teams the last couple of years. He was with Vrabel in Tennessee, and those last 2 years were not good. And then he was with the Giants last year for a 3-14 team. And all of a sudden, he's thrusted into play calling duties for the Patriots this year, and they're sitting at 6-2. It's a guy who's coaching on Tom Herman's staff at UT and then Texas State not all that long ago. And all of a sudden, he has done a exemplary job, mainly by the fact that most people don't know his name. If you did at this point in his career, it probably wouldn't be a great sign for the 2025 Patriots. So Zack Core stepping in, stepping up, and making this Patriots defense legit and being a huge reason why the Patriots are 6-2 right now. Speaking of that defense, how about our next guy on the list? That is Jaylen Hawkins. When Jaylen Hawkins plays, Jaylen Hawkins is damn effective. And you saw that against Cleveland once again on Sunday. Now, he had missed the previous 2 games, but he came in and he did not miss a beat. Who needs Jabril Peppers? You've got Jaylen Hawkins at home. He's got their highest graded player. He was their highest graded player against the Browns, had a coverage grade about 90, which is awesome, and made that unreal interception on a Dylan Gabriel deep ball, oxymoron alert, that would have set the Browns within the 20-yard line and would have made that a much tighter game at the time. I think it was still 16-7 at the time. This dude makes an unbelievable play, maybe one of the best catches of the year, offensive or defensive player, to pick it off in the sun, going into the shadows. It was the play of the game for the Patriots. And it's a nice story in that he's kind of on his last chance in the NFL here. The Patriots signed him short-term, low money last year after it looked like he was kind of on his last rites of an NFL career, signing short-term for the worst team in the league at that point, looking for a role on a good team, and he's found it, man. He has found it. 2 picks this year in 6 games, also has a sack and a half for a safety. That's the thing I loved seeing from those Bill Belichick defenses. Mike Vrabel and his staff puts a little bit of that in there too. The blitzing safeties really work, and they can deploy him in a ton of different ways, and they're all working right now. He could cover a bevy of different guys, and really that whole defensive backs group has been excellent for the Patriots this year, much better than I thought they were going to be after week 1 when they gave up 7 explosive plays to the Raiders. But obviously, Christian Gonzalez, all-pro player, right? We knew what he can do. Carlton Davis, when he's on the field in his career, he's been a damn effective player. He's been on the field this year. Marcus Jones, huge step up. huge step up this year. And Jaylen Hawkins has been the other guy that has really solidified that core, that position group, and has made this Patriots pass defense pretty formidable, man. And I know they've gone against bad quarterbacks the last couple of weeks, and they've had some slow starts, but they're turning the ball over. They're putting their offense in good situations, and Jaylen Hawkins has done it in every game this year, not just against the bad quarterbacks. Every game that he's played in, Jaylen Hawkins has shown up tremendously. So he shows up on the list of the most underrated Patriots in 2025. Next on the list is a bit of a controversial pick, but next on underrated Patriots, Will Campbell. Controversial decision for a couple of reasons. First off, he had a bad game on Sunday. Probably the first bad game of his NFL career on Sunday. We'll get to that in a minute. Second reason why it's probably a little controversial is he was a top 5 pick in the draft. Like, he should be rated highly. But Will Campbell came in, as we know, not like most other top 5 picks that you see. Came in with a lot of baggage from not him, but the scouts and the media. And certainly I was not high on Will Campbell coming into this season because of the hand size thing. As someone who doesn't have big hands, I get it. I don't like to be doubted, but sometimes I should be. Will Campbell, same thing. Just never had an all-pro with hands that small at the tackle position. It's not unreasonable for people to think that he might not be a tackle in this league like he was in a lower league, like the SEC. But what it comes down to is it's just a shame we haven't talked about this guy a little bit more because he has been fantastic short of this Sunday's game against Cleveland. Rough day. Myles Garrett facing a future Hall of Famer in his 8th NFL game, Will Campbell. That's a lot to go up against. So, yeah, honestly, some of the one-on-one reps that Campbell had with Myles Garrett weren't that bad at all. But giving up 2 sacks is giving up 2 sacks. Before the game, though, he was one of the highest graded tackles from PFF among anybody in the league, including being graded higher than Tristan Wirfs and Penei Sewell. So those are 2 franchise left tackles there, 2 of the highest paid guys in the league. He's definitely looking like a tackle, not a guard. And I thought about putting Morgan Moses on this list as well. Not that he has been great by any stretch. He's been aggressively okay, but just the fact that your left and right tackles are not abysmal is such a step up from last year. Like, it's a night and day difference. And obviously, those of you watch every week as well, you see it doesn't take a genius. It doesn't take a pro football scout to realize that Drake Maye makes his offensive line look better, right? He gets the ball out quickly and he's maneuvering the pocket really, really well. And even more important than that, he's great at making plays outside the pocket. So this Patriots offensive line, it's certainly not elite or anything like that, but it's a major step up from last year, from being just downright dreadful, probably the worst in football, probably one of the worst I've ever seen, actually. And Will Campbell's a huge reason why. And I just don't know that we've talked about him enough because it's all been about Drake Maye, and I guess rightfully so. But Will Campbell looks like a tackle in this league. He looks like a franchise tackle in this league, and that is very, very much a bonus from what you thought you were going to get, at least in year one. I thought it was going to be throwing him to the wolves. It has certainly not been that way. So Will Campbell definitely gets some shine as an underrated Patriot here in 2025. And the last one I want to highlight, Robert Spillane, another guy who had an awesome day on Sunday, like Jaylen Hawkins did on the defensive side. This is one that's really interesting because Will Campbell, we talked about him coming in and all the question marks around him, and they were loud and they were glaring because he was a top 5 pick. Robert Spillane, there was a ton of question marks around him, but they weren't as loud because he was a guy that nobody had ever heard of around here. Right there, he plays a lot of games. He's played 42 of 42 games since the start of 2023. He's actually started all of them. But the question marks around him were his usage. Was he on the field for enough of the snaps to justify what you'd be paying him? What role is he going to be playing for you? And he has been super duper dependable. He has led the team in tackles by almost 20. through 8 games, got 67 of them. And our friend, Mike Debate of Sports Illustrated, who comes on this show every Monday to break down the Patriots, he has crowned Robert Spillane the defensive MVP of the team so far. And it's tough to argue. This was a guy that had played for Josh a little bit. And I don't know how he was on everybody's radar, but he was on their radar. And Mike even said in that column that he wrote that there's some Mike Vrabel in him. You know, that outside linebacker who can drop in coverage a little bit, get after the passer a little bit. Robert Spillane definitely fits that. I think Mike Vrabel was nearly a Hall of Fame player, by the way. So I don't think Robert Spillane is that. But he has been excellent for them so far. And Sunday against Cleveland was by far his magnum opus, man. 14 tackles, led the team comfortably, 2 TFLs, and an interception that set up the Patriots' first touchdown of the game, his second pick of the year. I didn't think Robert Spillane was getting 2 picks in the first half of the season. The guy has been an absolute monster out there. And we talk about how much the offensive line has improved to go from really one of the worst ever to like, okay. But that linebacker core has taken a huge step up this year. And there's so many guys we could talk about for that. But Robert Spillane is the number one guy in that category. Robert Spillane is the most underrated Patriot so far in 2025. So shout out to him for making this defense a little bit more well-rounded. That was a gamble early in free agency. And in fact, after they made that signing, that's where I said, okay, man, I know the Patriots have a lot of money, but this is the NFL. Like, these are the guys that make it to free agency. Just like in 2021 with, Kendrick Bourne and Hunter Henry, who's a fine player, but you're like, these are the guys that make it to free agency, not the true game breakers. You have to draft those guys. You have to develop those guys. But Robert Spillane has been as good as you could ask for from free agency so far. And with just the Patriots off season, it's looking pretty good with guys like Spelain and Milton Williams and Carlton Davis and Will Campbell and Travion Henderson. Harold Landry leads the team in sacks. Things are going pretty well for that first year of the Vrabel, Stretch, Elliott Wolf, Brain Trust putting this thing together. So we talk a lot about Drake Maye, but those are my 4 most underrated Patriots this year. Who are your most underrated Patriots this year? Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We come at you every weekday live at noon Eastern time on YouTube and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. So ring the bell, get notified every time we're going live so that you can take a break from the BS of Boston Sports Talk Radio. This is your lunchtime alternative right here. Turn us on the Wicked Boston Show.